It is another wonderful and beautiful day, and we welcome you to the Hello Africa Morning Show, a breakfast magazine show that features various segments from top African news to lifestyle, entertainment, fashion, sports, and many more. This program is brought to you by the Association of African Universities, AAU, and proudly sponsored by Vena Water and Biko Drinks. Also, we are broadcasting live from the Association of African Universities in Accra, Ghana. My name is Isabella Teta Hinakwa, and as usual, I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Naomi Dakum.
Great.
Thank you for joining us.
Great. Today is the Republic Day in Africa. It is the day to celebrate the history of Ghana, as well as to remember the day Dr. Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah was sworn in as the first president of Ghana. And also, most importantly, it is the day to celebrate the history, the experience, and also the wisdom of our senior citizens who have contributed to shape the country in all aspects. Yeah. Now, as we are commemorating this day, what do we have for our viewers?
So for today, we are going to have a very special edition. We are going to, in our top stories, we are going to be giving you information on what happened in Cairo when the AAU board members met there. We'll also talk about the Salt University press launch for the African Diplomatic Dialogue. And we'll also talk about an African who has made a smart glove to help the hearing impaired persons to be able to speak audible words. And just as Isabella mentioned, we'll be engaging a senior citizen who has contributed so much in the world of higher education. We'll engage her and also bring you some stories from what is happening in Kenya. We will be engaging our resource person who is on the ground to give us more information about that. So yes, we have a power-packed event line of stories for you today.
And this is very interesting. I know you also wouldn't want to miss this exciting discussion. So stick with us and we'll be right back after the break. You're welcome back from the break. If you just tune in, this is the Hello Africa Morning Show brought to you by the Association of African Universities. And to begin with, we are moving straight to the top African news. And in Nairobi, tensions have reached a boiling point as thousands of protesters took to the streets, demanding President William Ruto's resignation. The unrest followed his announcement to withdraw the proposed finance bill, which had initially included a controversial tax hike. The Kenyan High Court has also approved the use of military force to restore order following days of anti-tax protests, resulting in more than 20 deaths nationwide.
What began as online condemnations of the new taxes quickly escalated into mass rallies demanding political reform. On Wednesday, President Ruto announced the withdrawal of the tax hikes on essentials like bread, diapers and sanitary pads and proposed budget cuts, hoping to quell the unrest. However, the president's concessions were not enough. Protesters returned to the streets the following day, expressing their distrust and dissatisfaction with the current administration. Amid escalating violence and unrest, armored military vehicles patrolled the streets of Nairobi on Thursday, while police fired tear gas to disperse protesters threatening to storm the presidential palace. Told the BBC's Newsday program that the bill's withdrawal is a significant setback, creating a substantial budgetary gap. He attributed the protest to a well-choreographed campaign of misinformation, both locally and internationally. Despite the president's concession, protesters remained skeptical about the implementation of the announced austerity measures and are angered by reports of arbitrary abductions and the killing of at least 23 people. The Kenya National Human Rights Commission reported that it had secured the release of over 300 individuals illegally detained, but Mwara refuted these claims, labeling the detainees as criminal element attempting to exploit peaceful protest.
This is quite sad. I mean, a peaceful demonstration. It started with as a peaceful demonstration, and now we are counting people dying. And we have more on this story as we engage our resource person in Kenya.
Now, away from that story, the Association of African Universities, AAU, concluded its 83rd Governing Board meeting in Badr University in Cairo, Egypt, marking a successful event that strengthens the AAU's position as a lead in African higher education. It was held from 24th to 26th June 2024, and the meeting focused on solidifying the AAU's future and fostering collaborations between African universities.
AAU's Governing Board meeting highlighted the unveiling of the AAU's new strategic plan for 2024-2030. The strategic plan leverages the AAU's nearly 6 decades of experience to tackle complex challenges faced by higher education institutions across Africa. The meeting served as a platform to explore potential partnerships between Badr University and other African institutions. Discussions between the AAU Governing Board and Badr University deans from various faculties, including medicine, veterinary medicine, and applied arts, revealed exciting possibilities for collaboration. These collaborations could encompass various areas such as medical internships and training programs, joint undergraduate programs with online components, and the development of accredited training centers for specialized fields. Professor Bakri Osman Sahid, the president of the AAU, expressed his gratitude to Badr University for their exceptional hosting efforts and hospitality. He acknowledged the university's excellent facilities and emphasized his belief that such collaborations between institutions hold immense potential for driving progress across African nations.
That was the story on the AAU board meeting that was held in Cairo, Egypt. Isabella, do you have an idea what do you expect from this meeting?
Well, first of all, I would like us to talk about the past or the previous strategic plan, which was established under President Orlando, who was the president of the Association of African Universities, and also their past Secretary General, Professor Etienne Ihele. I think this was from 2020 to 2025, and it will be ending in July 2025. That is why they saw the need to come up with a new strategic plan. And with this said, I think the current one, which we are still in, focuses on areas of capacity building, strengthening, coordinations, and collaborations, resource mobilizations, and so on. And I think AAU has done a lot when it comes to taking what has been done in order to achieve the 2020-2025 strategic plan. I think AAU has done a lot. You can see that various projects we are undertaking, our collaborations with the international institutions, and even our member universities has increased. Currently we have over 400. And I think AAU has done a lot. Now, when it comes to the new one, which is from 2025 to 2030, what I'm expecting is with the current one, as part of the challenges, they made mention resource mobilization, funding. I am hoping that there's going to be avenues looking at the strategies put in place. Also competition with other networks and other associations. Currently, there are a lot of associations coming with the same specific goals, trying to develop African education. I'm hoping that AAU, we are going to be, different from them.
Talking of resource mobilization, actually, the AAU board also came up with a strategy, which is the endowment fund. It was launched during the Corevip 2023 that was held in Windhoek, and we asked all our stakeholders, all our members, to make contributions, at least $1 to the endowment fund, which will in turn help, be able to help the AAU to implement some of its projects and other things that they want to do for for our members and our stakeholders. Now, even on that same story, there was a partnership formed. AAU always take advantage of the partnership or the engagement with their members. And so when they were in Cairo, they saw it like an opportunity to also form some partnership or collaboration with the Baduru University, which hosted them in Egypt. And they are looking at some potential areas they are looking at is medical internship and training. I think they met with the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and so they were focused on how they are going to form collaborations, including the International Center for One Health, the International Center for Food Safety, and the Center for Veterinary Consultations. So all the faculties emphasized that their programs are not only nationally accredited but also internationally recognized by the agency. So they are looking at medical internships and training. They are also looking at undergraduate training support. They are looking at postgraduate teaching support. So I think this is a very commendable act by the AAU, taking advantage of strengthening or forming collaboration with Baduru University to enhance these areas in our African higher education.
Great. And still on the role of higher education in developing Africa, Salt University College, in collaboration with its partners and affiliated institutions, has officially conducted a press launch to the inaugural African Diplomacy and Business Dialogue, AFEDIP, on June 26, 2024. The dialogue, which focused on harmonizing African diplomacy for the success of AFTA, is set to take place at the Accra International Conference Center on May 14, 2025.
This pivotal gathering will bring together past and present African diplomats, industry leaders, business communities, and scholar practitioners to discuss the crucial role of diplomacy in promoting trade integration across the continent. At the launch, Ambassador Dr. Kojo Alabo, president of Salt University College, delivered an inspiring address outlining the vision and objectives of the dialogue. The event was graced by several distinguished guests, including Mr. Silva Ujako, Chief of Staff of the AFTA Secretariat, and Mr. Peter, Senior Advisor of the AFTA Secretariat, among many others. The AFDIP initiative is poised to become a cornerstone in advancing African trade and diplomatic relations through collaborative dialogue and strategic partnerships. Stay tuned as we follow this promising journey towards greater trade integration and diplomatic cooperation in Africa.
The World Bank, in a recent study in partnership with the AFTA Secretariat, has reported that the agreement, if fully implemented, will raise incomes in Africa by 9% by 2039 and lift 50 million people out of extreme poverty.
This is a very great initiative, and as we are celebrating the Republic Day, I think it brings us back to when Osajafo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah wanted to find ways whereby we are going to unite Africa and countries will come together and then look at how we are going to develop the continent as a whole. And that is where the AFTA policy came about. Now we are looking at the role of African higher education in this, and that is where the initiative, that is AFEDIP, and African Diplomacy and Business Dialogue was established. Now, looking at this initiative, the main focus is to find ways and means to bring past and present diplomatic institutions and individuals together in order to help implement or find ways and start to successfully implement the AFTA policy. Now, if I may ask, what do you think the diplomacy is going to do? What role can they do in successfully implementing the AFTA policy?
Yeah, so I think we all know that the diplomatic missions try as much as possible to not operate in a specific jurisdiction. So if they are like the AAU, we operate, the headquarters is in Ghana, but we operate across the Africa, all the regions in Africa. So knowing some of the barriers that we face in even implementing some of our projects, some of our policies in the other regions in Africa, I think we will be able to push, since we work with a lot of governments, we'll be able to push for the implementation of the AFTA policy, and then we can collaborate with other diplomatic missions to also ensure that this is successfully done. So yes, I think we have a role to play, and there's a lot of education and sensitization that we need to do. So yes, AAU will do much, will do a lot to educate its stakeholders and members.
And
of course.
actually, AAU is a partner of this initiative.
Oh, that's
and talking about collaboration, obviously, when we are able to collaborate, especially with international institutions or international diplomatic institutions, there's going to be knowledge sharing. We are going to they're going to share their technical and development things that they do that is developing their country and the continent as a whole. Obviously, we are going to tap into that. And when we talk about collaboration again, we are looking at capacity building. We need to develop ourselves in order to implement this. And I think that is a major role that the diplomatic institution is also going to. And then conflict.
Yes.
Going into someone's country. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some disagreement, but when we're able to have a standardized policy that is guiding all of us, there's going to be ways and means to settle disputes and then try and avoid conflict.
You will even look beyond your dispute and then think of the benefits of the collaboration that you're forming with them. So, Away from that story, now have you heard that the hearing impaired persons can now speak? Well, thanks to a groundbreaking invention, the hearing impaired can now speak in audible words. Today, we are delving into the story of a Kenyan innovator, Roy Alela, whose innovative smart glove technology turns sign language to audible speech. Roy's invention lies in the application of machine learning and embedded systems to solve societal problems.
A report by the World Health Organization has stated that about 466 million people worldwide face disabling hearing loss, out of which 34 million are children. This could double in the next 30 years. Only 17% of those who could benefit from using hearing aids actually have access to it. While this may seem far-fetched for some people, Roy Alela's journey into the world of innovation began with a deeply personal motivation. His niece was born deaf, and watching her struggle to communicate with others inspired him to find a solution. Driven by love and determination to make a difference, Roy set out to create a device that could translate sign language into audible speech in real time. Enter Sign.io, a revolutionary smart glove. This device uses a combination of sensors and machine learning algorithms to detect hand movements and gestures, converting them into spoken words through a mobile app. The gloves are equipped with flex sensors on each finger that quantify the bend of a finger and the exact position of the hand. The data is then sent to a smartphone via Bluetooth. Roy's innovative spirit and dedication to improving lives have garnered international recognition. He's received numerous awards and accolades, including the prestigious American Society of Mechanical Engineers ASME Innovation Showcase (iShow) Award. Yet, despite the accolades, Roy remains focused on his mission to break down communication barriers and create a more inclusive world.
Isabella, what do you think of this story?
Well, I like the fact that we and the youth are coming up with innovations, trying to solve problems of the continent. And actually, I've had interest in sign language. You know, I like health issues, and I had wanted to delve into projects where we are going to consider the deaf and dumb and all that. So I've had interest in sign language. But unfortunately, when I reached out to the institutions, which I'm not going to mention the name, they didn't really come forward. They didn't boost my interest in it. So, but then, when opportunity comes, I'm still going to take that course. Yes, it's a good thing, obviously, doing the sign and then hearing what it is. I think it's a very good initiative, and we need to support that.
We need to. I'm thinking of cost, because that was not highlighted in the story, but would be so. I would be interested to have a one-on-one with this person, of course, to know how much or what will be the cost involved in purchasing one for somebody, a loved one who is probably hearing impaired. And I saw that the gloves were made of African prints.
To show that it's from Africa.
Yes, so it's actually a very nice idea. It's really great that Africa African youth are coming up with so many innovative ideas, and then we just need the various governments' support, and I'm sure we can be as great as the other continents.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it shouldn't just be the government support. Actually,
Yes.
individuals too. If
Yes.
you have something to support this initiative, the NGOs and
Yes.
international institutions, they can also support this. It shouldn't just be the government.
And now I'm also thinking that maybe we could also think of something that could connect somebody who can speak and write, do everything, to someone who has hearing impairment. So in as much as the person is wearing the gloves, I don't necessarily have to do sign language to the person, but I could speak, and then there'll be some form of technology that would translate what I'm saying into like a sign language for the person to understand. So this is one of the many innovations that will definitely be coming out of Africa. So yeah.
Right, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we shall dive into the next segment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, so this is Dishant from Unica University Common Application. I recommend you to watch AAU television.
AAU TV is the place to be for every person in higher education in Africa. Better be there or be nowhere.
Continuez de regarder la télé et surtout sur le AAU.
Keep watching it and it will change the way you interact with higher education on the continent. AAU, great job.
I want to tell you that AAU television is fantastic. It's educative, it's informative, and it is a must for anybody who is interested in higher education in Africa.
When I was in Accra last year, I did an interview on this TV. It's a very important mouthpiece.
It's a data, it's a bank of all we need for the development of higher education in Africa.
People should make an effort to view it because it discusses very current issues of development across the continent.
I believe that the station will continue to promote the overall development of Africa, particularly in the tertiary education sector.
AAU TV provides a platform and shares a lot of information to a broader audience. So we wish you all the best and please continue serving.
AAU TV,
the voice of higher education in Africa.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Thank you for sticking with us. This is Hello Africa Morning Show, and on the news portal review, we are going to start with the African news portal. Like I mentioned earlier, we are going to be giving you more stories on the protest going on in Kenya, as Kenyans face the lingering smell of tear gas and military in the streets Wednesday, June 26, a day after protesters stormed Parliament over a tax plan that would increase the cost of living and an act of defiance. That would, increase the cost of living, an act of defiance that President William Ruto called an existential threat. Yeah, at least 22 people were killed, a human rights group said. Now, the capital, Nairobi, has seen protests in the past, but activists and others warn the stakes are more dangerous after the biggest assault on Kenya's government in decades. Now, Ruto called the event treasonous and vowed to quash unrest at whatever cost. Soldiers patrolled alongside police who have been accused of shooting several people dead on Tuesday. You know, last week we engaged with a resource person who is also an activist in Kenya, and she gave us an account on some of the things that are happening. Actually, we are supposed to engage her so that she gives us the current status of what is happening in Kenya, and I think she'll be joining us very soon. But then, Naomi, looking at the current situation now, people are dying out of this protest. Something that started as a peaceful demonstration. Now, people are dying. What? I was in support of this demonstration, but for people to lose their life, I don't think it is.
So there's actually like two effects of the demonstration, because I saw how it started on the streets. The protest started on the streets, and later the attack on the government during one of the parliament session, and even some parliamentarians from Ghana who were on a mission. They were also camped. Yes, they were also camped somewhere, and it tells you could see how they vandalized the equipment, even the infrastructure, basically destroying things in the Parliament House. And I was thinking, Kenyans, yes, I understand your plight. You are campaigning against this tax which has been implemented by which has been mentioned by the president, because it was not yet implemented at the time. So I'm also thinking, you are complaining that you will not be able to pay the taxes that is put on some of the products like the electronics, the sanitary pads, even bread. And now you go ahead to destroy state properties. Remember that your money, your funds, the taxes that they've taken from you are actually not enough. And that is why they've put more tax to be able to do some things for you, the people of Kenya. And so for you to now go back to destroy state properties, remember that they might end up using your state funds, your taxes to repair these items that you have destroyed. So in as much as we are asking, yes, we can put our demands across or our concerns across without being violent. I believe in that approach, because yes, we can always engage the leaders at some point. It is only when they are not hearing your plight that's when you can go ahead to.
But talking about hearing plight, I think the president has withdrawn the
Yes, he has.
And now they are asking
for his resignation. And that is, initially your request was to take off the taxes, to not implement the taxes. The president heard your plight and did not implement those taxes that he wanted to. And then now you are asking for the president's resignation.
I think that's too much. And even aside they're going to the Parliament House to destroy things, currently I learned they are going to the MPs who signed.
I heard that story too, and I was like, I think it's too much. We are taking it too far. We can resolve our issues, but then we need to find a very good approach. Let's handle things one after the other. Let's deal with the taxes. Now that the government has scrapped it, let's look at how whatever they are going to implement to sort of like be like the solution to the taxes that they've taken off. How are they going to manage the finances? And then should anything come up later, maybe we can protest against it, but always peacefully, of course, because violence is never an option. Like I
mentioned last week, I'm not against we paying tax, but I think accountability comes transparency. That is why the youth are angry.
So if
they may be able to pay it, but looking at what they've been paying previous, what is being done with
Exactly. So you can demand accountability without being violent. I believe in that approach. And also the security personnel in charge of ensuring that these protests, the protests and demonstrations ongoing in Kenya are peaceful. I heard stories. We've seen that there was some tear gas spilling all over. So it's really hard. If we are doing tear gases, we are doing shootings, when protesters are protesting peacefully, protesters didn't have guns, I think it would definitely spark some form of unsafety for the protesters. And that is when they will also tend to be violent. And then it will become deadly or fatal, as we have seen.
Yeah, we are still trying to engage our resource person from Kenya. However, we will still continuously and closely follow this story and then bring out all the current status or what is happening in Kenya to you.
Still on the African News Portal, Yusuf Saidu, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research, Innovation and Development of Usmanu Danfodiyo University in Sokoto, UDUS, was killed by bandits at Gusau-Kaduna Highway in Zamfara State in northwestern Nigeria while he was on a journey from Sokoto for an official university assignment. The university on 24 June described the death of the professor of nutritional biochemistry on its official Facebook page as a painful loss to the academic community. Isabella, it's really sad to see all of these deaths happening in our news story this week. And I don't know why someone would want to. I've never understood the concept of killing someone because at the end of the day, we are all going to die. You will never get out of here alive. So why are you killing somebody? It is something that I've never understood. Well, maybe you have something to say. Maybe you do, because
I can't tell why killing someone. I mean, what excuses am I going to give for killing someone, taking someone's life? But then with the bandits, it's been going on for a very long time. I don't know what the security or what the service or the security services are doing, because it looks like traveling by road to the northern part of Nigeria is very, very risky. And if you are going, that means you are going, either you are going to arrive safe or be encounter with a bandit or be harassed. You know, when people who have gone through this, when they are narrating their story to you, it is really traumatic. Really, and then with students hearing that they are come on. This is really hard to take. And according to the story, actually they mistakenly took him as part of the service, the security service, because his car looked like the ones of the military people. So they thought, they thought he's also a military person or a police.
It's sad.
And then
it's just so sad.
How can you describe someone based on a car? It is really sad, and we hope something will be done, because we can't be losing people when it is not a time for them to go, like you mentioned.
May his soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen. Amen. And also, still on the African News Portal, researchers in South Africa has injected radioactive material into the horns of 20 rhinos as part of a research project aimed at reducing poaching. Now, the idea is that radiation detectors already in place at national borders would detect the horns and help authorities arrest poachers and traffickers. The research, which has included the participation of veterinarians and nuclear experts, begins with the animal being triangulated before a hole is drilled into its horns and the nuclear material carefully inserted. Now, this week, researchers at the University of Witwatersrand Radiations and Health Physics Unit in South Africa injected 20 live rhinos with these isotopes. They hope the process can be replicated to save other wild species vulnerable to poaching, like elephants and pangolins. I think this is a good initiative. I mean, poachers, traffickers, and you know what they do? They kill the animals before they take the horns in and sell, cross the border and sell to the other countries and international fronts, which I think, how can you kill wildlife? I mean, we need to take care of these animals and species.
I am for animal health. Yes, I mean, the same way you treat humans, you should treat, you should
because
treat
you wouldn't be happy
the
when
same way
they kill you and they take some part of your body. And I think it is a good, actually, when we talk about anti-poaching, I think things has been in place. They've been doing other things like the sniffing dogs, and the borders also trying to check in the goods and goods that are coming in and going out of the country. And this initiative actually is being done in Kenya and also in Ethiopia. They are hoping it will be replicated in other countries. It is a good thing, but someone will be asking the health benefits of the radioactive material.
Yeah, I'm also very concerned. I wanted to ask that, but maybe they have a way.
And I'm sure probably it's not
a harmful one.
Yes, it's a less harmful material.
Let's just hope so. But we can bring you more details, of course, in our subsequent bulletin.
Actually, this I don't know, this initiative, I think it looks at after you've killed the animal and then taking the horn. When you are going, so as you are taking the horn, that is when it activates. But I'm just thinking there should be another tracker whereby immediately you catch the animal, we can because here by the time you get there, I've killed the
animal.
I'm just hoping there should be something. I don't know how this is really going to work since it's still under research, but I'm just hoping that it should be something immediately you target the animal. We are also
of course the end of someone's research is another person's, is the beginning of another person's research. So we hope that researchers will come together to also see how they can also sort of not make the animal even be killed before the horns are taken out, and then basically to save the animal even before the death happens. So we will bring you more stories on that as and when researchers bring out their findings. But away from that story, extreme weather events causing floods, droughts, and wildfires are becoming more frequent and more severe with climate change affecting countries around the globe. The Horn of Africa is particularly prone to heavy rains, which cause devastating localized flooding, loss of livelihoods, and even life. Now, scientists are using artificial intelligence, AI, to predict extreme weather in the region, which could save or help save lives as climate change becomes more severe. The United Nations World Food Programme is working with researchers from the University of Oxford Physics Department to develop a reliable AI forecasting system through machine learning. So it's a hybrid approach where we have artificial intelligence to then fill in the gaps where the physical models lack understanding or representation because it's too complex, says the Oxford climate scientist Shu T. Nath. He also mentioned that they are unable to represent the complicated processes in a data-driven methods so that they can best be able to forecast what the true observed reality is. By using satellite data of clouds bank and the temperatures at the tops of the cloud, the AI makes predictions and tries to identify upcoming extreme weather.
AI everywhere.
It's AI is revolutionizing. It's revolutionizing Africa, and I love it. I love it.
It's a good initiative, and I think Africa, we are doing a lot. We
are doing, yes. And I like the fact that we are embracing these new technologies because most of the time we only get the end part of innovations, but now just as
we are doing the thing.
Just as it has emerged, we are tapping into the opportunities that they have presented to us, like AI and machine learning. So I like the fact that we are tapping into these resources and trying as much as possible to solve our own problems. Yes, climate change is happening it's affecting all of us all across the globe. But if Africa is taking the initiative to come up with ways to be able to tell the weather forecast, I believe this is a commendable act.
And I am hoping that all the predictions that this AI app or the AI platform is going to give is going to be accurate, because we already have weather forecast on our phones, on our machines and all that. But sometimes you log in and then they're saying you should be expecting rainfall within the day. You come out prepared and then you'll be like carrying a whole lot of things and nothing happens. And the day that you forget, you don't bring it, that is when you're going to face rain. That is when you're going to face rain.
I mean, it's weather. So many, and like we've always said, human activities also have contributed to this climate change. So yes, they may predict that it's going to rain, but we don't know what other people are doing in other parts of the world that could actually stop the rain. So in as much as they will give the predictions, you can follow, but also take some measures as well. So we really also need to check some of the activities that we do as a people.
Yes. And then talking about accuracy, I think with AI, it depends on what you put in, the input of your data. So I like what this group of people are doing. I think from the story, they are ensuring that the platform is they are going to feed past occurrence. I think 200 to 200 occurrence of weather conditions, and then with that, it's going to predict the future. I think it's a good initiative. It's going to be accurate, hopefully. And still on the African News Portal, a new study has found that nearly 1/3, which is 31% of adults worldwide, did not meet the recommended levels of physical activity in 2020. Now, this puts them at greater risk of cardiovascular diseases such as heart attacks and strokes, type 2 diabetes, dementia, and some cancers. Now, it has also a negative impact on mental health and well-being. In addition, the study by the World Health Organization, together with academic colleagues, found that levels of inactivity continue to rise. Now, the author says the findings show a worrying trend of adults becoming less physically active, with this trend increasing by about 5 percentage points between 2010 and 2022. If this continues, countries will not meet the global target to reduce physical inactivity by 15% by 2030. Physical activity.
So yes, we need to. I feel so guilty because I know that I'm part. I hate climbing stairs. I hate climbing stairs because I'll end up panting, and that is because I'm not so healthy as quote unquote. Because if I climb just about 2 staircases and I'm already panting, it shows that I'm not fit physically. So I feel very guilty about this findings, and I hope that I change.
And then according to the story, 31% ish. That's almost half.
Almost half of
worldwide. And I think it's something we need to well, I really don't blame them looking at our work environment. When you come to work, you sit on your laptop
every time. Unless you put in you come up with your own measures to try and be physically active.
Take a walk.
But I'm alarmed because it says it has negative impacts on our mental health and well-being.
Of course. Sitting at one, so, the brain is just focused on one thing. But then when you are into physical activity, you will see something and your mind will be taken there. You've engaged your mind in other things. Do you get what I'm saying? But when you come to work and probably you're just sitting at one place, your mind is tagged at just one thing. And I think that is the effect when it comes to the mental
health. I'll do better.
And I think to do this, we as an individual person, we need to ensure that at least within 1 hour. Actually, I had a back issue, and when I went to the hospital, I was advised that within an hour, I should make sure that I stand up 4 times to take some small walking before I come back to sit. I think there should be policy in schools and workplace whereby in an hour, staff are encouraged to stand up, and here in AET we were doing that.
Now there's a lot of work to be done. So
I know more thinking.
And I remember I was a host for one IG live where we're discussing periods. This month we dedicated it to last month, and this month we're dedicating it to like menstrual cycles, learning about your periods. And it was interesting to note that the guest was mentioned. I told the guest that some people actually experience like very heavy cramps, very bad cramps during their periods, and even before their periods. And she said those who are engaged in physical activities most likely do not experience cramps at all. And so if you have severe cramps, you can actually do some form of exercises, either Pilates or yoga. You don't necessarily have to do like extreme sports, but even those times, if we could take our minds back, those times when we were in primary school or in secondary school, we were engaged in a lot of physical activities. And so it will be hard for someone to say that, oh, I'm experiencing cramps, but most of the cramps you're experiencing now, it is as a result of adulthood. And because we are not engaged in a lot of physical activities. So I think, yes, it is right that it says it has negative impact on your mental health and well-being overall. So yeah, I think we need to take our health seriously and start engaging in physical activities.
Don't worry.
You can do boxing, you can do skipping.
Boxing?
You can do, yes. I would love to learn boxing actually, yeah.
Okay.
So that if someone tries to attack me, I'll come up.
You defend yourself,
Of
right?
course.
Oh, don't worry. Hopefully, we may incorporate some activities on set.
I'll be so glad.
Try and engage our audience in physical activities in our next episode. What's the next story?
So, Sierra Leone's parliament has approved a landmark bill banning child marriage. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Bill 2024 criminalizes marrying girls under 18 years old, and offenders could face jail terms of up to 15 years. A 2020 UNICEF report states that Sierra Leone is home to 800,000 child brides, 400,000 of which were married before age 15. The First Lady Fatima Madubio and several NGOs, including Girls Not Brides, have applauded the new law. Girls Not Brides emphasizes that childbirth or child marriage laws must be supported by government investments in gender transformative services and policies to ensure social, economic, and political independence for girls and women. Some women were also seen on social media celebrating this groundbreaking initiative by the Sierra Leone Parliament.
If I'm to be there, I'm going to use a whole year to celebrate this, because I know think you are now, implementing a law. No, come on, this modern era, child marriage.
But at least it means that something has there's been some form of engagement.
It's too late.
It's better late than never, you know.
This, I think in Ghana we established a law against child marriage for a very long time ago. Sierra Leone is not doing that. Well, what was stopping them from enacting such a law?
Probably there was a law, but it wasn't criminalizing people. But now it's more of like a criminal offense to marry someone or marry a girl under the age of 18. Because looking at the statistics, it says Sierra Leone is home to 800,000 child brides, and half of them were even married before the age of 15. At age 15, you're supposed to be in school, be learning on how to get some knowledge on how to improve your continent, your country. So if you're marrying off these young girls before turning 18, then there's a problem, and we are glad to see this landmark bill.
Yeah. And looking at the I don't know how to say it, what you're going to face if you fall under
up to 15 years.
I think it's a very good thing. Obviously, I'm not going to spend my whole life, entire life because if I'm 40 years old man and then I fall guilty under this law, and then going to spend 15 years before I come out, I'm going to be like 55. What am I going to? Well, I can do something, but I've spent almost half of my youth.
And that is why you need to think of your acts. And then need the repercussions before you engage.
It is really good, and I think it's going to promote child education and ensure that teenage pregnancy is
also really, We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll engage our guests who will be helping us discuss Ghana's Republic Day and also Senior Citizens Celebration. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
I'm here with the Association of African Universities Television, AUTV. I just want to say that without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it, AUTV.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
You're welcome back from the break. Thank you for sticking with us. And this program is proudly sponsored by Vena Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks. Now, moving away from the news portal review to the lifestyle segment. Today, as we celebrate Republic Day, we are also looking at some of the old-fashioned trends that is being replicated today in the modern current. And as you see us adorned in African print and also trying to remember the old-fashioned days, Naomi, tell me, growing up, what were some of the fashion or what are some of the things you were seeing in terms of fashion, styling, and all that? Let's talk about dressing. Dress.
For me, I know that I've gone through some changes. And I saw
God has done a lot.
Yes. And even this dress I'm wearing, it was a style that my mom actually wore.
Okay.
And yes, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, I don't have cap and slits, so let me just do the same style, and then it fits me perfectly.
Exactly.
The lady just, thank you, you too.
Thank you. Actually, yeah, finish.
Yeah, so for me, I saw, I'm a Gen Z, so I didn't see much. Yes, I'm a Gen Z. So, but I saw the puff trend. I saw the mini skirt trend.
Exactly.
I saw the bareback trend. I saw the tie my ties and leave my leg, which has come back again. The bell button ring, bell button, jeans. And then I saw the long jean skirts as well.
Exactly.
I also saw a lot of tank tops, the slacks. I saw quite a number of fashion trends.
Yes, and
especially because we were doing more of Nollywood movies, Gollywood movies, and so these styles or these fashion trends were incorporated, were seen on the stars who were in those movies.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love my outfit.
Exactly. And with what talking about your outfit, looking at my sleeve, this is one of some of the style we wore when we were in secondary school, and it's an old style replicated in the olden days.
Yes.
This is the type
Housewife.
of sleeve. This is the type of slit that our old ancestors and our old mothers used to wear. And also with the top, you can see some kind of Queen Elizabeth styles and all that. And with the dressing, I also saw this, is it abortion belt? We had this belt on our
this big belts,
and currently it is still happening also.
I even saw Jackie in one just recently, and even Black Sherif, a Ghanaian artist, Black Sherif also had one on his trousers. So he wore trousers when he was debuting his new song. He wore a trousers with a corset and then the belly belt on top of the skirts. So yes. So
talking about Black Sherif, is it Osibo? Osibo who has been doing
Yes. He's been wearing
when you look at his fashion trend, you can see the olden times, the things that they were wearing. And also when we talk coming to shoes, what were some of the styles you were seeing?
I saw the Amagana shoes. I actually didn't see
Which
them.
one is the Amagana shoes?
The big chunky, the big chunky platform heels. So I think I saw it in the movie Amagana, which Nana Mama Brown was like the main character in the movie. Yeah, I remember I saw that, but I didn't see it physically. But yeah, I remember. There was gladiators at some point. I remember it was one Christmas.
Used to call it Moses.
Yeah, my dad took me to town to go and get heels for Christmas. He used to do that a lot when we were kids. Now we are all grown up. So I remember he took us to Accra Central one time to go and buy heels for Christmas. And then I told him that I want gladiators. And he said, we don't have heels. We don't have gladiators in heels. So I said, no, I want gladiators. And I got this gladiator with some blings on top. And then when you step, it makes some form of noise.
Really?
It has some bells on it. Yeah. And I took that one and he said, just make sure that you don't wear this to follow me anyway. Because it makes so much noise. Everybody will just be turning and be looking at you. So don't. But I still took it because I wanted to wear it because it was in style in that year, so I wanted to.
Yeah, myself, I also saw the big boots, which we see King Promise and also Black Sherif. Yeah, these big boots with the platform.
Okay, yeah.
That was what was training growing up. I used to see that with the baggy jeans.
Yes.
Is it Timberland or something?
Timberland, yeah.
These big boots with the baggy jeans and tops.
Wallabies.
Yes. And with hairstyle, actually looking at my current hairstyle, it's kind of a replication of what was being done earlier.
Many years ago,
They use rope, but now we use extensions, hair extensions to wrap around the hair to make this the faux locks. And as you are seeing on the screen, I think I was about saying this. I saw Rihanna replicating this style, and it looked very good on her.
Yeah.
No. Our ancestors, they used to know what
Yes. They used to dress up. You know, this Fulani braids too also came. And even the goddess braids and all those things. Yeah. They were all braids which were done in like many years ago. And then, Fulani braids. And they used to do these. So in those days, they didn't have the extensions. So they were actually using their own hair.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how heavy and healthy and long their hairs were. Not like now when we have so many chemicals damaging our hairs now.
You know, talking about even chemicals, I think in the olden times we used to cherish our natural hair, the Afro kinky and all that. And then came the permed hair where people were perming their hair. But now still the Afro kinky is still trending. And it's actually one of the top when you talk about fashion. You see black women in their Afro kinky. And now even the white people and Chinese people are even trying to make their hair look Afro. I think it's a very good thing, and we need to keep on connecting with our ancestors. We need to reflect on things that were being done in order to also educate our next generation what our ancestors were doing. Now to the entertainment story. Naomi.
Yeah, so Michael Muthigai, a talented 33-year-old student from Nairobi, has made a significant impact in the animation industry. Now, growing up, he was fascinated by cartoons and wanted to learn how they were created. Despite limited internet access, he pursued his interest in animation. After secondary school, he taught himself animation using Autodesk Maya. Later, he worked as a junior developer on the children's cartoon series Tinga Tinga Tales, and in 2011, he founded Fastboy Animation, gaining recognition for creating the popular Huratete cartoon on YouTube. His big break came when he produced 3D episodes for Fibers TV ads, which went viral and attracted major clients like Safaricom, Barclays, and Orange. Today, Fastboy Animations employs 15 people and handles numerous projects, charging between 1 million Kenyan shilling and 1.4 million Kenyan shilling for a 60-second advert. Muthinga's journey exemplifies creativity, determination, and entrepreneurial spirit. I love this for this young man, 33-year-old university student from Nairobi. I love this for him. And I actually follow him on Instagram. And I see the videos.
Myself.
Yeah.
I do see some of his videos, and they are quite funny. At the same time, when you listen carefully, it's advising you.
Yes.
There are some proverbs, there are some motivational speech.
Some even self-empowerment, telling you that you think that I'm down here. No, I'm up here. My level is up here. Your level is under the ground.
They are funny. At the same, with the accents, you just
under the ground, and that is how much I love him. I watch him a lot. I spend so much time on his page, looking at some of the videos that he's created, and looking at the brands he's worked with, Barclays, Safaricom, and Orange. He's just leveraging social media and, of course, adding animation to his innovation, and then making over 1 million Kenyan shilling for making a 60-second advert for these brands. It's actually a very big thing. And it shows that we can leverage social media to do a lot of things. So sometimes we may be we may be saying that we are unemployed, but there are so many things that we can actually do using social media. I actually at some point deleted my Instagram because I felt like people are making money on Instagram. And I am just here scrolling the app every day, scrolling my feed, just watching these people make money. How do I also make money? If I'm not making money, then it's best I delete the app. So I actually deleted it. But I think we can actually build it. It's just about building your brand. And once you get to build your brand, once you know what exactly makes you happy, and then you don't have to force it, because it was something that, like, we could tell from the story that he has always been fascinated by animation. So he just decided to go into it. So just find your passion, see how you can leverage social media to make impact, and of course.
And I like the fact that, like you mentioned earlier, we are embracing technology, because previously when we talk about advertisement, it is humans. We use humans doing it, but now animation is currently playing a role in almost all when it comes to educational as things. You see teachers even using animation to teach, and actually, according to research, it is one of the best ways to educate people, because it sticks to their mind.
I remember COVID-19 projects. The AAUTV's COVID-19 projects also incorporated animation.
And you know what? I did that animation. I did that animation. Actually, I have interest when I see these types of that. Actually, I have an application. I'm yet to learn how to do such 3D and 3D and 5D.
The other one was which one?
It was 2D.
Okay.
They are different.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And still on Africans' creativity, and a Nigerian lady has broken the longest crocheting marathon. Chidema Modupe Okafo, a talented Nigerian lady, recently achieved a remarkable feat by continuously crocheting a white dinner gown for an impressive 72 hours. Now, this achievement surpassed the previous record of 32 hours and 7 minutes held by Alexandra Hayden of the United States. Chidema's relentless efforts, dedication, and stamina exemplify the artistry and perseverance required in the world of crocheting. Her journey inspires others to appreciate this craft and its benefits.
I know you love crocheting. I got a bikini from you in crochet. So yes, she's full of creativity. She is full of creativity. Isabella is full of creativity.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, she does crocheting in she crochets pillowcases, she does hats, she does shorts, she does trousers, almost everything. She does almost everything. So I'm sure this is very close to home for her.
It is very close. And I actually appreciate her efforts, her dedication, and also commitment
72
to breaking
hours.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
When I get orders.
It's actually 34 hours and 7 minutes.
No, that was a previous record. And she broke
did
with
72 hours.
Yes. That's really impressive. And it's hard work because sometimes I sit for... okay, my longest crocheting was like, I think 5 hours. And when I finished, my hand was like this. Yes.
So for her to do for 72 hours.
For a couple of times before I was able to move mine. So for you to sit at one place, probably she was moving, and then with your hand like this, crocheting.
For 72 hours.
That was really hard.
Yeah. Do you think you would want to do something like this?
Well... Let's see. Probably I will. You know, actually with the crocheting, I do it when I'm in the mood, when I have nothing to do, or when I get orders. That's when I go into crocheting. And currently with my work, I don't think I'll be able to challenge Chidima. No.
Let's allow her to enjoy her moments for some time.
Yes. And did you see the dinner dress?
I did.
It was
so
really
lovely.
nice.
So lovely.
Really nice. You can wear it
dinner gown.
Yes, you can wear it to parties, to your dinner celebrations and all that.
Even your wedding reception. I mean,
crochet. Yes, actually you can.
Yes, you can. Depending on what you wear inside, I think you can.
That's a good. I'll try it on my wedding day. Probably I'll wear crochet dinner dress. All right, please stick with us. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we shall delve into the sports arena. Stay tuned.
Thank you for sticking with us. It still is Hello Africa Morning Show on AAU TV, and we have discussed some top African news stories. We've done our lifestyle and our news portal, and now we are going to delve into the world of sports with Mr. Ajiman Otredakon. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Ajwa. You're looking, flamboyant.
Yeah, thank you. You look good too. But why didn't you wear African print?
You know, we are doing, Africa is to the world, though. You know, today, we're looking at the Euros. So I have to be in the Euro spirit, you know. That's why I came with the Euro
We'll pardon you for that. But tell us, what is happening in the world of sports? I know I watched the Germany and Denmark match. I also watched the Georgia and Spain.
Yes.
That match broke me. I was so disappointed in Georgia because I was expecting them to win, knowing that they scored the first goal.
Sure.
And then you allow Spain to come and score about 4 goals to win.
Yeah.
They were later crying on the pitch. Tell us more.
So it's been an amazing turnout thus far in the Euro 2024. If you've been following, I mean, you're doing for well watching these 2 matches here. And you know, for England, it's been a series of insipid performances. You know, England, a side that we thought could make great waves, has been struggling for some time. And yesterday's match for England was the last of it. I mean, Southgate, the coach, was left off the hook this time, or else they would have kissed their way by from the
They had to do extra time.
Come on, 95 minutes of no shot of goal.
I was also disappointed in my main goal for this Euro 2024 is to is for some countries or some teams from the other countries to also come up, to also be also be known for like doing like really big. They should come up to be big teams, because if we are always allowing the big teams to win, then it means you are never good anyway, or you can never be good. But if you strive hard to also rise to the levels that these big teams are, I think we would have more big teams. That is all that I hope for. And so when I see how these underdogs are playing in the match, it makes me feel so disappointed. I'm like, when are we going to learn to rise as well? Because in as much as they're a big team, they started from somewhere. You can also start from somewhere. Why are you winning?
Notwithstanding that, you know, teams like Georgia gave Spain a good run for the money. And, you know, the Georgians are proud of the performance, even though they fell off from the round of 16. They think that Georgia gave it their best. And the same for Slovakia. Slovakia held it down with a goal to 0 against England in the 95th minute, where Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane made it up for them. You know, these are star boys within the football space. So, I mean, if you have these people within your team, rest assured. But the coach has a lot to do in terms of finding the very best tactics way to help the team perform better, because the English side or the English fans are not really happy with Garrick's performance and also that of the English team. But in all honesty, they made it. And also in the Copa America, you have Venezuela doing it big, giving it 3-2 to Jamaica. You can see that potential over there. But if you go back to the Spain-Georgia match, the likes of Nico Williams, I mean, the Ghanaian Spanish, he doesn't want to play for Ghana and all that. Well, Ghanaians are still praying because the guy is very good. Alongside Lamine Yamin and also Danny Olmo, these guys are making it big for the Spanish team, giving Georgia 3-1. And we can have some highlights on the screen. You can see these matches were very, very solid matches. England, Slovakia. If you have a team like England who has been chasing the Euros for 58 times. This is the 58th time they look forward to make a difference. And look at the way that the whole nuances.
I cannot predict the end of this match or this Euro 2024, but I don't see England.
It's not looking good for England.
I don't see England.
If not for people like Jude Bellingham and then Harry Kane, England would have gone home.
Yes, I wanted them to actually lose the match so that they see that they are not really performing. Because the England we know, they didn't give us that performance in the last match, in the last game. So
and you see, you have other teams like France. You know, the latest Batman on the field right now is Kylian Mbappe. And you know, Kylian was saying yesterday that, you know, since he began to wear this mask, it feels like he's wearing a 3D mask. He's not really seeing very well. The injury he had with his nose actually caused that, and he's not really living to the full potential that the Kylian Mbappe we know, I would say the prospective Real Madrid star, and also the big timer in PSG, hasn't really lived the dream, and he feels that, well, he will take the mask. So maybe today against Belgium, the mask will take it. And let's see the real Kylian Mbappe.
I really don't want to miss that match. I don't want to miss that game at all.
If you culminate all of these together for the Euros, you say it's been an amazing Euros thus far. Sampling matches like England, Slovakia, very, very, very tense match. And also Georgia, Spain, which is like the opposite of what happened in England, Slovakia. Spain is on its game. Right from the beginning, they've really made strides. And when they catch you, if you don't get a 4, you get a 3. And it's a 4 this time. So we look forward that they keep up the pace.
That's why I was actually excited when the other team scored the first, Georgia scored the first goal. Because Georgia scored the first goal. And I was hoping that they would keep that same momentum and then score another one. So that Spain would be like, no, we are losing out to these guys. So we need to do something. But then they would just be keeping up and then scoring more goals. Only for Spain to score 1 and later 2. Later 3 and then 4.
You know, you cannot beat that kind of mindset. Okay, you are playing against giants. So as a new team, as I say, as an emerging team like Slovakia and then Georgia, you come in with a winning mindset that you want to make a point. I want to prove a point. And your first goal does that, but how can you sustain the victory? That's the issue, because you are playing against strong guys, fast guys with agility, peppers. And you know, one thing that Bellingham said was that the team character for England didn't change. And that's the competitive edge that they have against Slovakia. How can you sustain that kind of victory or that kind of trump over the 90 minutes and plus? And that's where we see champions from people who are just losing. So that's it for the Euros. And we also have another one with all roads leading to Paris 2024. Everybody wants to be in Paris 2024. Now, let me just give you some tidbits about this whole Paris 2024. The Olympics comes off in Paris 2024, and this time we're having, it's from 26th July to 11th of August. So we're actually closer. Right after the Euros, we are going to Paris for that. You'll be there, right? You know, you have to be there.
I would love to be there.
Enjoy the love in France.
If I get sponsorship.
Your France, you have to bring your France.
Je m'appelle.
Yes, 329 events or games, 10,500 athletes. 206 countries. It's going to be a bash, all right? And right after that, we're going to have what we call the Paralympics, which has 4,400 athletes from 206 countries, 594 games, and a whole lot more. So you can see That we're actually giving those guys, our friends who are physically impaired, an opportunity to express themselves.
It's
you understand that, right?
Yeah.
So we don't look down on them. They also have their own time for the Paralympics. And we can see on our screens what is happening in France right now. France is preparing, but there are some doubts that if France is ready for this event happening just in a few weeks. Because there's a whole lot to do. France is organizing itself in terms of security. We have over 1 million fans coming around, or the whole world.
I'm sure France is always on top of the game, so I'm sure there's another team somewhere or in the country putting together everything to ensure that once we are done with Euro 2024, which hopefully, they hope to win the cup and take to the country, they will also be able to successfully host the Paris 2024.
Yes, and I'll be there to give you a live feed, okay? I will be hanging around the Eiffel Tower, so just have it in mind that I'm at the Eiffel Tower giving you the biggest updates
I
right
can't
now.
wait.
And you know, strangely, in Africa, right, we haven't really gotten so much countries to represent. Amongst the 206 countries, we have only 11 countries representing Africa. You have that of Nigeria, West Africa, Gambia,
Do we
Gabon.
have Ghana?
Oh, please, come on. Please.
We'll get there.
Your country
We will
or
get
this
there.
country called Ghana.
We will get there.
Our issues, it takes 1,000 years to discuss. Ghana failed to qualify for the Olympics this year.
Wow.
But countries like Lesotho, Nigeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire.
Big guys.
Come on.
Big
Burkina
guys.
Faso.
We will support
No disrespect,
them.
but Burkina Faso has impressed a lot of us that they can also make it to the Olympics. So it's encouraging that, I mean, if you really want to go to Olympics, you have to work on your internal institutions. Tunisia has done much investment to their sports industry. You need to do same so you can build your people for Olympics. The very last one is the star boy for Ghana. Mohamed Kudu Star Boy actually was awarded as the footballer of the year. And that is well deserved. I mean, nobody can beat this. He has done so well. 14 goals for his Premier League side in the UK, which is West Ham United, and also has scored close to 11 goals for the Black Stars. He joined the Black Stars. And this is what we're looking at. We are seeing him to be like the next Asamoah.
Yes.
Ghana misses Asamoah because we know that we want that player that every match can give us a goal. And I think Kudos is actually modeling himself to be that Asamoah and give her that nostalgic feel of the Asamoah impact. No matter who you are, which country, you will take it. You will collect.
Oh, he's actually doing well, and I like his brand. He's not just a footballer, but he has built some brand. Like he has made himself a very big brand in terms of football and also outside of football. Even when it comes to Ghana, you see the people who he rules with. So it comes as no surprise that he's winning the Footballer of the Year award.
And I know one amazing thing. During his speech at the awards, he did something that I find very iconic that should be emulated. He actually singled out one player, I think one as center ringer, Fatau Ishahaku, as being one of the pillars to his success. And I think that is a very amazing thing he did. Ishahaku has been that person who supplies him mostly on the pitch. If you don't get that kind of supply, you can't actually move and then make that goal happen. So saying this, okay, Ishahaku has been a great pillar. He motivates me on the side and also has been to my help, giving me passes that can help me get a goal. I think that it's a good thing. Every player should learn that. Messi should say, okay, well, it was Mbappe. Ronaldo will say it was this person. I mean, it builds a unity. And that's what's up.
It's really nice, especially knowing that they didn't get the award, but you are acknowledging the fact that it is somebody that serves you to be able to function. Talking about making people aware of the team playing that goes on the page. So it's actually a very commendable thing.
And just to conclude, okay, West Ham United should have more chairs on the site because when he scores the goal, he needs to sit down and celebrate and think what else to do. That's it for the sport.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the show. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, Africa. Keep watching AAU TV.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Well, thank you for sticking with us. This brings us to the end of today's edition on Hello Africa Morning Show. We've had some interesting discussions from Top African News, where we look at the current status of the protests going on in Kenya. We also looked at the death of a vice chancellor in Nigeria who was murdered by the bandits in the northern part of Nigeria. We also looked at some initiatives, actually looking at what was discussed. The majority of the innovations and initiatives were coming from Kenya, where protest is ongoing. Can you imagine? Wow,
so it's actually interesting.
Interesting, I know, right? So yes, like we were saying, we looked at some of the initiatives and innovations being done by African youth. We looked at a lady from Nigeria, Chidema, who has been able to break the record, Guinness World Record of crocheting, as well as many more. And just like we mentioned earlier, today is a Republic Day in Ghana. It is not a holiday, so I know you're at work at now, but then try to remember what our former president, the first president of Ghana, did for Ghana.
And it will interest you to also note that when you go to other parts of Africa, they actually do know Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Of course,
and they acknowledge
he was
him.
For Africa,
yes,
not just Ghana.
And they acknowledge him for being somebody that inspired their leaders to also fight for independence. So Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is not just for Ghana; he is for Africa, and that is why we push for the Pan-Africanism way of doing things.
Exactly.
With that, you don't center on just your country, but you look at how your policies, how your initiatives will benefit the whole of Africa.
And I'll also like to take the opportunity to appreciate our sponsors, Vena Purified Water. Like I always say, make sure you add to your morning routine, whether going to work, running errands, or even sitting at home relaxed. Ensure that when you want something to hydrate yourself, it is Vena water. As you are buying, you are also contributing to the less privileged ones. And also Bigo drinks. We have varieties of flavor. We have orange, we have lemon, and even the cocktails. So to refresh your body and to have that tasty juice, I think Bigo drink is the best for you. My name is Isabella Teta Hinako, and I've been here with my beautiful co-host.
My name is Naomi Dako, and thank you for joining us. The discussion doesn't end here. Do well to follow our social media pages at Association of African Universities on YouTube and Facebook, AETV Official on Instagram, and AETV_universities on X. Please stay tuned for more of our programs and don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us this morning. Have a great week.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.